Hey, I'm Jay Monique from Designs by J Mobi. So I decided to come on and I want to ask a question. How many times have you received a case that was opened up against you in your Etsy store and it was something out of your control? So Etsy is saying that they have a resolve for us as sellers, right? They have rolled out their purchase protection for sellers, says beginning August the 1st. They're offering a new program to help protect sellers in the event that a buyer reports an issue with an order. So I think this is good news for most of us, right? It's going to help make sure that basically if there's a claim that's it says it's going to protect you from shipping issues outside of your control at no additional cost. So this is not going to cost us anything. We don't have to do anything to enroll. It is going to be automatic as long as we meet some of the eligibility requirements for the purchase protection program. So I'm really excited about this. Let me know if this is a good video. Make a comment. Let me know what some of the cases that you have received that just blew your mind, that you lost the funds for and it was out of your control. So I just wanted to show you how you can go to your inbox, whatever the email is that you have registered with Etsy. You should be able to find a link, basically to the COO video talking about the program, and it will probably link you here like it did for me under the shop policies and also shop management. And by the way, like if you're a new Etsy seller, you have a new Etsy store, it is really important to go through the handbook. I know it takes a lot of time to read through it, but it's going to be very important. Okay, so back to the purchase protection for sellers. I'm just going to read through a little bit of what was sent here to my inbox and also to yours as well. Or if you're thinking about opening an Etsy store, this is good to know how you can be protected in the event that something happens that's out of your control. Because I'm sure you've heard horror stories and other like urban myths that are out there, things that have happened to sellers and also buyers' experiences that may deter you or make you a little hesitant about opening an Etsy store. Hopefully, this will help you. So basically, the program is to protect you from shipping issues outside of your control at no additional cost. Etsy may refund buyers for qualifying orders below 250 US dollars or the equivalent of your local currency. That is including shipping and taxes, and you can keep the earnings from your sale. So basically, Etsy will refund the buyer and they won't deduct it from your account. You will basically be able to keep the earnings, but we're going to read through to see what qualifies us for that, because it's not an automatic thing, right? There's going to be some requirements that we have to meet. So it also says here that if you want to see how their current seller protection policy works, check it out here under their policy page. Very important to read. Very, very important. Okay. What is eligible for Etsy's buyer protection program? With Etsy purchase protection for qualifying orders below $250, Etsy may refund buyers and you'll keep your earnings if a buyer never received their package. For an example, it was lost in transit or their item arrived damaged for the first instance per calendar year. So in the prior email that I received, it does speak to that this is not a guarantee. This is not a warranty. This program is not that. So this is why you see the language they're speaking to. Etsy may refund buyers and you'll keep the earnings if a buyer never received their package. For an example, if it was lost in transit, that can happen. That has happened. And it can be very frustrating, especially if you ship first class mail service. Their item arrived damaged. That has happened before also, but it does say that if it's for the first time, the first instance for the calendar year. So I'm assuming that you can't just like have multiple packages arriving damaged. They're something that you need to assess. How you're packaging, how you're wrapping, how you're shipping, the carrier service that you're utilizing. Maybe they're too negligent. Some of those things are a factor on why packages may continuously arrive to your buyers damaged. So if it's the first instance per calendar year, it looks like they will approve it under these circumstances. Also, it says that their item matches the listing description and photos, but a buyer claims it does not. And I've had a case open for, by the way, I ship I design face shields and face masks. So the face shields have luxury embellishments, premium bling to them. So they have to be packaged very, very well so that they can arrive as described. I had a case open because the package was complete. It almost looked like it was ran over by a truck. And the customer said they tagged the claim as listing not as described. And Etsy approved the refund. I was so upset. I'm like, but I shipped it. What do you mean? It's because the damage is not what they expected, I guess. So I'm assuming this is why this qualifies, but a buyer claims it does not. Um, Basically, when does it take effect? It says August the 1st. Actually, orders shipped on or after August the 1st of 2022 are eligible for Etsy's program protection purchase protection program, and the calendar year for damage coverage also begins on August the 1st. So anything before then, it won't happen. To make sure your orders are eligible for Etsy purchase protection, you'll need to follow the eligibility criteria outlined in Etsy's purchase protection for sellers and remain in good standing with Etsy. So you can click there for more information on those two. What isn't eligible for Etsy's purchase protection program is going to be important. So let's read through that a little bit, right? So the following situations will make an order ineligible for purchase protection. The order does not meet one or more of the eligibility requirements for Etsy's purchase protection. The order total is 250 US or over, or the equivalent of your local currency, including shipping and taxes. So basically, if your order is over $250, then you might want to make sure that you have your third party insurance protection that will help you get through some of those issues in the event something happens during the mail stream. The item does not match the listing description. We strongly recommend using accurate photos and descriptions when listing an item. Very, very important. If it's silver, make sure it's silver. If it's gold, make sure it's gold, not yellow. If it's pink, make sure it's pink, not purple. Things of that sort. The sizing. I just recently developed sizing charts to help out, just to help protect myself for certain terms of service. So there's a lot of work when you're running an Etsy store and also e-commerce, even if you have your own website. This is why I do like running an Etsy store. It was one of my first platforms when I began selling face masks at the beginning of the pandemic, and also started designing luxury face shields for weddings and events and things of that sort. Because if you've never ran your own website, running an Etsy store helps prepare you for that, in my opinion. It really does, because some of these strict guidelines, it helps to have you to set them up on your website as well, so that you can keep things tight, structured, and you can keep some of those chargebacks down. You'll have these things and best practices in play. So you'll be pretty much prepared for your own website. In my opinion, I think that it's a good start. So basically, it says here, if the item does not match the listing description. Okay, so we spoke about that. If you obtain insurance from a third party source, or have carrier and or payment processor coverage, we ask, I guess that's Etsy, that you first submit a claim to your primary source of coverage instead. So if you like, I ship priority mail service for the most part. Over 75% of my orders go out priority mail. And that comes with insurance. So I'm assuming that they want me to go through the USPS, mail service insurance for claims. I mean, I guess. But if you ship first class, maybe this could cover it. I'm not sure. But if you have a third party source or your carrier payment processor coverage, it looks like they want you to go through there first. If you're from a region where Etsy payments is not currently available. So basically, Etsy payment system is not covered everywhere. There's certain regions. So you can click here to find out basically if you're covered or not. I would think by now you would know. So if you have to use like PayPal to process your Etsy orders, maybe that's an indicator that you're not from a region that allows Etsy payments. Your shop is not in good standing for violating Etsy policies. Duh. I mean, I would assume not, right? Okay, so sellers are responsible for refunding costs for orders that fall outside of these eligibility requirements. So they say, see our article of best shipping practices to ensure you're following the proper steps for your order to arrive undamaged. It seems like to me as I'm reading through this is not much different than what they already do, in my opinion. Because I've had cases open up against me, and this is the same thing that they've been doing basically for the most part. They're just probably just putting it into an official program, to I don't want to say pacify the sellers, but just to maybe to help out with the reps, because sometimes you get a rep and it depends. One rep will see there is perceived and perception, discretion, I guess. So this will help probably with the inconsistencies of certain specialists and reps that you get that handle your cases. Depends on their mood, depends on how they perceive things. I'm starting to think that this is more for them also, because this doesn't seem like much different that they're doing. In my opinion, I mean, leave me a comment if I'm wrong. I could be completely wrong. I'm not an SE expert. I just wanted to just put up a video to let you guys know to check your inbox, check your email for your own updates as well. And I needed to read through it to make sure that to see where I am in compliance, and so that I can remain eligible for the program protection if I need it. So, how do I qualify for Etsy purchase protection? Etsy purchase protection will automatically cover qualifying orders with no setup required from the seller. Okay, so we don't have to do anything. The usual process for resolving buyer issues still applies to orders that are covered by Etsy purchase protection. See, it's not like, okay, so they have a link here if you want to go to the guide to case resolution. It gives an in-depth breakdown on how the case system works and the steps that could be taken to manage buyer issues. Orders are eligible for Etsy purchase protection program if the order was shipped within the stated processing time. That's going to be very important. Now, updating your processing times is important. At one point, I had very long processing times. It would take me almost 2 weeks to process basic orders because of the influx of orders. And, we're small businesses, right? So we want to make sure that we have the adequate time. And with face shields, when I'm designing them, they have to cure overnight, and I do design them per order so that they're fresh, crisp, and clear. I don't have a lot of storage spaces, have like all these design face shields sitting around, and then they're prone to dust, and then the baby is splashing juice. It's no telling what can happen. So to keep them protected, I do design them per order. Now, I have been able to streamline my processes and reduce my processing time. So I make sure that I update it, letting buyers know like it may take me only 3 to 5 days now, as opposed to, the 14 days as before. So that's a good thing to always update your processing times. So it also says that valet tracking was provided and or was mailed using the shipping label purchased through Etsy. So that's going to be very important to make sure that we're updating our tracking number. So if you go to the counter or you use a third party shipping carrier, just go back into the system and update and make sure that that tracking number is there. Your listing has an estimated delivery date. Etsy will let you know inside of your app. I don't know if they email you, but they will give you a notification if you have listings that does not include transit times, where applicable. You want to make sure that your origin zip code is there. So take a look there, make sure you're good. The item received by the buyer matches the photo in description on your listing. I know it sounds contradictory. It's kind of a little bit redundant in this area, but making sure that the photos match and in the description as well. And you want to make sure that you're enrolled in Etsy payments. You can click here for more information there. And if it's the first instance in the calendar year of an item arriving damaged, they do not want you to just keep shipping things and you're not doing anything to improve it, and all of your stuff keeps coming back damaged. That's a problem. If an order meets these requirements and has a cost below 250 US dollars, the cost of the refund will be covered by Etsy instead of the seller. Sellers are responsible for refunding costs for orders that fall outside of these requirements. Etsy does not cover orders 200 over, excuse me, orders $250 or over, so it is recommended to purchase shipping insurance when fulfilling those orders. In some situations, a specialist may need to reach out for more information about the order. It is important that you respond to requests for information in the case log within the time frame given to show both the buyer and Etsy that you are working towards a resolution or a solution. If you have a case log that's a case that's open, you want to make sure that you reply. You do not want to not respond, don't ignore it. Always check your emails, always go into the app and see if you have any pending notifications just to keep up on these things. So basically, they say as they continue to invest in sellers' success, your feedback is crucial for helping them to improve seller experience. So here's a survey link. I know a lot of the times we get on certain platforms, get in certain groups, and we may have a lot to say about Etsy and some of the improvements that is needed. But here is your opportunity to take their survey. They say this is the most effective way to provide feedback to it. I guess basically in regards to the Etsy purchase protection program, specifically for this particular program, they give you a link where if you want to leave feedback, let them know what you would like to see from it in the future. So there it is. Check your email, check your inbox, check your notifications. There's going to be other videos coming up, I'm sure, from others that will be talking maybe more in depth, more that I know, but I wanted to let you know to check your email if you have not, about the Etsy purchase protection for sellers. My name is Jay Monique. If you want to see more videos from me, leave me a comment. Let me know how I did. I will be doing my best to keep you updated on other things regarding Etsy. Etsy accounts. I am an Etsy seller as of 2020. And I know that a lot of people want to start Etsy stores. They don't know how to do it. And I can be maybe of a good help for some people. Some things that I've learned, especially about how to stack your emails, customers from Etsy. How do you get them onto your email list, right? I have been able to find a legal way to do that. So please subscribe to my channel. I am new to YouTube, but I will do my best to come back and help you guys where I can. Make sure you subscribe. Click the link in my bio. Check the descriptions. Do all of the things you're supposed to do. Like and subscribe and share it. You know the routine. I will be back with more. Let me know how I did. And I'm looking forward to coming back to see you all again on my YouTube channel. Thank you. Have a good day.